pretending to be a student, has attended classes since 2024.
Authorities arrested 24-year-old Anthony Emmanuel Labrador Sierra, who they say claimed to be 16 years old. Our David Greenberg following this story for us this morning. So, David, what do we know about this suspect, and where did all of this take place?
Yeah, Danita. Well, first off, this took place in Perrysburg, Ohio, which is just a little bit outside of Toledo. And we can tell you the 24-year-old is a Venezuelan national arrested on felony forgery charges. So let's pull up his mugshot here, give you a look at that. Now, we can tell you that he's presented himself as an unaccompanied minor and enrolled at the high school under the name Anthony Labrador. The district stated that he used forged documents to not only enroll in school, but to obtain various statuses and services, including legal guardianship, a social security number, federal temporary protected status, and even an Ohio driver's license. He did allegedly enroll in accordance with federal and state requirements for students who do not have legal guardianship or are homeless. Our affiliates WTOL also tell us he was part of the school's swimming and soccer team. Now, authorities were eventually tipped off by the family who had taken guardianship. They contacted the school saying they received information from a woman who said he was a 24-year-old adult and the father of her child. Police eventually were able to take Labrador Sierra into custody without incident. His bond is set at $5,000, and he has pleaded not guilty. Now, Advocating Opportunity is a nonprofit that represents trafficking victims and legal matters. They argue that he is not a fraud, but rather a victim in this case, telling our affiliates WTOL that they're handling his asylum application, saying, quote, "Nothing in our possession leads us to believe he is anything other than a 17-year-old victim of human trafficking." And now, despite this bizarre case, Perrysburg High School Superintendent Thomas Hostler says that he believes the school handled all legal protocols in terms of enrolling a student who was an unaccompanied minor.
Very interesting story indeed, David. All right, thank you.
The top floor, the classes would literally be filled with Haitians. Every single classroom. No white people, no nothing. It was just Haitians.
What percentage of students at your high school would you say are migrants that have recently came into the United States?
I would say about I don't even know, 50% of the schools, or maybe a little bit more, are Haitians. They're filling the classrooms up, and we don't have the translators to help the teachers, and they're just really disrespectful. I mean, the footage got taken down, but before Christmas break, there's two Haitians got caught fighting in the stairway.
At school?
Yes, at school. There was video. Another thing, the age limit to go to school is 21.
Yeah.
And there'd be 21-year-olds in freshman classes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Yeah, that's not okay. That's not okay because I'm not saying all of them, but some of my friends have literally got violated by them and harassed.
So their 21-year-olds are inside the high schools?
Yes. It's not okay.
Hello everyone, I hope everyone is doing great today. I came on here to speak about the United States school system and what is actually happening and what has been reported in these schools and what's actually not been talked about enough. Basically, they have adult age illegal immigrants going to school with our kids. They're actually enrolling in high school as freshmen, and they're already in their 20s. Some of them are even entering high school in the 12th grade, and they're already 24 years old. Or a lot of them are graduating, they're beyond their 20s. Now, do you see what this country is allowing these people to do? They can actually try to form relationships with these kids. You don't think they're going to try to get in relationships with these young kids in these schools? And we all know what that is. Yes. They shouldn't even be around young kids like that. You know, when they're beyond a certain age, they should be going to adult school. Or not be here, period. How about that? Just get these people out of here. I mean, these people are allowed to do anything literally they want to do. I see why they kick, scream, cry, and all that when they're getting put out of here. I see exactly why they behave like they do. They let these people do anything in here, and including go to school with our kids. I remember taking my child to school, and I'm telling you, some of these kids look like they are in their 30s going to these schools. You should see how old primarily these Latino students look like they are. They look old as I don't know what going to these schools. I mean, I thought some of them were parents, and they are in middle school. Can you believe that? And I'm just like, when are we going to be protected as American population? Why are adults from these illegal places allowed to come to the United States and attend school with our kids? That is a recipe for disaster. And then on top of that, they're not vetted. These schools don't know anything about these kids. But one thing I do know, they're letting them bring a lot of gang culture to our schools. They are coming to school with their pants sagging. I mean, just looking like they just got out of prison, okay? The way they're coming in here looking. And I'm talking about these Latino students. They're using the N-word, calling our kids the N-word, going around giving students high fives that are non-black only. They'll give high fives to even some of the white T students, but they are not giving the black American students high fives at all. I'm not saying some of them don't get along with them, but there's just this thing that I believe they're getting away with, and that's calling black students out of their names, using racial slurs. They use all kind of slurs. They're bullies, and they're beating up, fighting our kids in these schools. And it just seems like the school officials are allowing them to get away with it. Like I say, the government is just allowing them to run amok. And if your school superintendent is Hispanic or a foreign person, a lot of them just let it ride. They don't care what the people from their communities do. And this is the problem. I feel like, that's why we shouldn't allow, and the United States should never allow these foreign-born people to become politicians and run anything that pertains to the United States, because they're always prioritizing their own people, and they make it life miserable for the everyday American person, primarily FBA people and our kids. I mean, I just couldn't believe that when I stumbled on information to find out that these people are allowed to come over here from these foreign countries unvetted and unchecked and get into our schools. They're falsifying paperwork to actually get in these schools, to get around our kids. And they could actually be, predators, child predators going to these schools. Because apparently that's what they are. Because they're getting in relationships with these kids that think that they're equal when they're not. And the only way that the schools know that this is true is if somebody reports them. Other than that, they get away with it. Nobody's going to report them or say that they're doing something they shouldn't be doing. And I just think it's very, very dangerous that, the United States have allowed all this stuff to happen for so long. And these sanctuary states and cities, they really need to do something about this. They need to remove that. They need to get rid of sanctuary status for these illegal immigrants. In California in particular, because a lot of them are running from other states and they're coming over here to settle, and they're going to try to outstay Trump's presidency. I know what they're doing. They're trying to get over here and outstay. They're over here smiling and living their lives like they're untouchable over here. Because I have not seen any presence of ICE in the state of California anywhere. I've been to LA, they haven't seen any ICE agents. I've been all over Southern California, have not seen any ICE agents, They said they weren't even in Northern California. I haven't been there, but I haven't seen any presence of ICE. I don't understand why they said they were here. I haven't even seen the National Guard. They probably just in certain areas, but I haven't seen any presence of them anywhere. So it's not enough ICE presence here in the state of California. They need to get these people out of here. They're still in here hitting people, running red lights. They just run through lights like that's what they're supposed to be doing. Like they don't understand our, traffic signal signs. So how are they getting their driver's licenses? They're just running through red lights. I saw 5 cars run through red lights by a school zone, just running through the lights. And that is terrifying for a parent to see things like that. Because if your child walks home from school, you think about them getting ran over by these people. And I'm just saying, what are these mayors and governor? The governor of California, we know he's a hot mess. But these mayors are not doing anything about these people. They need to get these people out of here. But you look at a lot of the mayors in Southern California, they are now starting to give these Hispanics all the leadership roles. They're becoming the mayors, city councils, and board of directors, and on all these boards at these schools. You complain about something that goes through one ear and out the other. The way they treat the black population in the state of California is absolutely horrific. And I'm talking about, yes, these Hispanic people. They don't treat black people like anything. As long as they feel like they can benefit somehow, they might say something about you. But ultimately, if their people are acting out and being prejudiced and, using programs to discriminate against the black population, nothing is being done about it because they protect their own. And that's the way all of them are. I don't care what country these people come from. They're going to do what's best for the people from the countries they come from. That's it. That's all they care about. They don't care about anybody else over here in this country. Because as long as they can stay on code with that, then they can take advantage and take over the United States. Because that's ultimately what they're doing. And I don't understand why the United States have allowed them to do it. Which is the reason why I'm happy Trump is doing that much, that he's actually getting them out of here. He's the only one seems like he's focused on getting them out of here. Still got a lot of black people talking about, they shouldn't be here. But I understand they don't like the presence of anybody in law enforcement in our communities. And that's the reason why I believe these Latinos and all these other foreign groups, Asians and white foreigners come here to the black communities because they know we don't like the presence of law enforcement. And by default, we'll protect them if we tell law enforcement to get out. If we push back against them being in our communities, if we push back with them putting, armed, militarizing our neighborhoods with the National Guard or any other military agency, that we'll say, no, you can't do that because we feel like they're going to target us anyway. They're going to target us the most. We know how that works because they're going to always have some bigoted person in any form of law enforcement or military there is. That's just what it is in this country. Yeah, you have some that are not, but you have many who are. And a lot of these people are being brought imported bigots in here. Okay, a lot of these people are not even from here, not even supposed to be over here, but they're coming in here and they're quick to target us. And which is the reason why a lot of them voted for Trump to begin with, because they thought the Trump administration was going to target black American FBA people. And I hear people saying they thought we were from Africa. All black Americans from Africa. We're not Africans. And now the Africans are trying to jump on that bandwagon and say they're trying to Africanize FBA, saying we're all Africans. Yeah, we may have some DNA in us. All of us do. But that doesn't make us African. You're not doing that to Jamaicans. You don't do that to any other group of people. Any other group of people outside of American black people. Okay, the foundation of this particular country here. Okay, descendants of freedmen. They don't do that to any other group but us. They always trying to say that, take our history away from us and everything. And I just can't respect it, okay? And I know I'm kind of getting off topic here, but what I mean by all of this is that these people are allowed to do, illegal immigrants are allowed to do what they want to do here in the United States. And they're not even protecting our kids' safety. If you're letting these foreign adults go to school with our kids, it's a problem. And then they have it. Gavin Newsom has a school blocked from ICE even coming in there. ICE cannot even come into the schools to even deport any of these kids or even question them. They have to be reported by somebody that's around them, like I said, for them to even be removed from these schools if they're adults trying to go to school around kids. There's a lot of, in that group, when Trump said that a lot of them are, they do things to kids. Yes, they are like that. A large part of their population is like that. That's what they come with. Trust me, I've seen the numbers. Yes, that's most of the crimes that they come over here doing is violating women and children. That's what they do. So don't sit up here and try to say that, Trump is being racist. No, it's in the stats. You can't blame Trump for that part of it. Not, like I say, they may not like the way he's going about things, but a lot of things Trump is saying is true. Okay, like him or not, it's true. And like I said, he's doing more for the black community than the Democrats could ever do, because they're not doing anything for black people anymore. All they're just saying is go out, go vote, scaring us with the Project 2025, scaring us saying that Trump is going to get us. He's the boogeyman. He's going to come out and get us. And I'm not saying Trump is perfect at all. I'm not saying Trump is not bigoted. But what I'm saying is he's not doing things to harm us the most. I would say the Democrats are the greater evil when it comes to the black population. That's what I'm saying. And I'm not saying that I'm a Republican, and I'm definitely not saying I'm a Democrat. I'm neither one, at this point. Like I said, I'm for anybody who's America first, who's putting America first, and who see us as the foundation of this country, because we're not doing anything to anybody. But for some reason, all these groups, they're coming over here to our communities, and they're bringing all this trash in here. All these people committing crimes and stuff are being dumped in our communities. And what is that supposed to mean, Democrats? You let all these foreign people come in here, a large a portion of them have problems, and you let them come and settle right here in our communities. They're over here being hostile towards us, and we keep saying it, but it's like, so what? Let them stay here. Let's bring more in. In fact, there is black and brown unity. They're saying there's a coalition between us. No. And they need to get these people out of our communities and out of our schools. And I mean ASAP, they need to get out of here. Okay? Trump, ICE, we need you here in Cali. Get these people out of here. I'm 1,000% on board with that. Okay? So, you guys tell me what you think about these illegal adults going to school with our kids. And they're hiding that. A lot of these officials in these sanctuary states and cities, they're hiding the fact that they have adults going to school with our kids. And they're talking about they're entitled to an education. They can just come and go to school freely. We know y'all give them everything freely. Y'all give them more rights and stuff than American people. How do you come to a country illegally and you got more rights than the citizens? Only America does things dumb like that. But it looks like Trump is trying to clean all that up. He's cleaning it up as we speak. I mean, if America don't see now that these people are ungrateful that they let come in here, and that they have a hatred for the United States, and they just wired differently mentally. You just can't do anything with people who have brains like they do. The way they think is just insane. And you wonder why their countries look like they look. Because look at their ideologies. Look at how they think about things. You don't even see them people picking up trash. They just throw trash everywhere. I mean, did you guys see the pictures in Europe, how trashy it is over there now? How it's like one big dump site everywhere. Trash all over the place. And that's what foreigners did to that country. Not to mention bringing all that crime and stuff over there, using their systems and stuff, their welfare systems to get money and all that stuff. They have beat the hell out of Europe. And do you guys want the United States to look like that? Because that's what it's turning into. It might not be as bad in some places where you live, but I'm telling you, if you guys have been to Cali and y'all haven't been to Cali in, I say, good 4 or 5 years, come back here and look at it now. In the same place that you used to go to, and look at how it looks. It is just horrible what they're doing to this place. So, you guys just tell me what you think. Do you think they need to go in and do investigations in school to make sure that adults are not going to school with our kids? And do you think that, the United States just let these people get away with too much? Tell me what you guys think in the comment section. Share my video. Give me a thumbs up. And please do not forget to subscribe on your way out. And everyone have a safe day out there.